Hey guys, welcome to Hills and Gills. If you're new to the channel, my name is Chuck. We're just country guys right here in eastern Kentucky that loves the outdoors. Anything that contains to water or out in the woods, that's what we growed up loving to do. And today we're tying up another little trout magnet jig head right here in the 1 64 ounce number 8 hook. All I done with this jig head, they come chartreuse like this one. All I done was added a white coat to it, added some electric blue LA color, then hit it with some blue metal flake, added my eyes to it that I got off Temu, and then hit it with the UV resin, and it was ready to go. So let's go ahead and get this little pink and blue jig tied up. Okay, let's get this little jig tied up. We're using a white thread today on this. We're going to start right behind the jig head. We're going to work our thread all the way down to the bend of the hook. And then we're going to work our way back up about midway up the shank of that hook there. Now, the first thing that we're going to be adding on this little tie right here, I really want this to pop out and flash. So we're going to be using, if you've not got any of this, you can get this off Temu. It's super cheap, inexpensive. It's great for building bodies. Also, just using it for flash. This is called Angel Hair Fiber right here. Excellent stuff to work with. I've already got a little bit of it out right here. This is what it looks like. It's very fine, but this stuff looks killer in the water. It just has so much action on like smaller jigs, big jigs, and so on. And what I usually do, I just fold it up just like so. Just like this right here. And then I lay it right back on the back of that jig head. Now I want this to come back about a 1/4 of an inch off this jig. Maybe not that much. Maybe a fingernail length. This is a smaller type jig. And then I'm just going to give him a couple turns and just lock him in right there. Now at this point, I'm just going to push down, get it over the shank of that hook. And then the rest of this right here, I'm going to just go ahead and get this cut. Dispose of the excess. And then I'm going to go ahead and run my thread right down back toward the bend of the hook to about where the barb is on this hook or where the bend starts. And then I'll just go ahead and take my scissors and I'm just going to go ahead and cut all those loops where I looped it over. There we go. Give him a few more tight wraps there. We want this to be nice and tight. Then I'll just take my UV resin and I'm just going to add just a little drop right on top of it here. Take my finger, just smush it in. And then hit it with a light Sally Hansen will work, Crazy Glue will work, whatever you got in that nature will work just fine. So the next thing that we're going to be adding, this is going to be a blue and pink jig right here. This will be great for you crappie fishing, great for you trout fishing in streams and creeks. And we've got like a royal blue, and then we got what I call a shocking pink in hackle feather. We're just going to V these out. If you've never done that before, you just go right up here to the tip. You just clip that off. You can save that for another jig, like a Popeye type jig. But what we're after today is just the V's. All you do is just go in there with your scissors and V these feathers out. So I'm going to do each and every one of these this way. And okay, we got our hackle feathers V'd, and we're just going to go ahead and start laying them right down the side of this jig right here. Now I usually offset the colors, like one on one side, one on the other, and then vice versa. But on this tie right here, I want to have all pink on one side, all blue on the other. Lock them down, give them some tight wraps. Right back up toward the back of the jig head, build that collar up a little bit where that collar is going to be. And then right back up behind that jig head. Right there's what we're looking for there now. Now the next thing that we're going to be adding is some crystal flash. I got mine off Amazon. You can get off eBay, Temu. We're going to be adding, this is very fine flash right here. We're going to be adding 3 strands to each side. Like I said, I want this one to pop out here with the flash. That's what I'm going for. So we'll lay it right on the side of the shank of that hook. Give him a couple of turns there. And you can lap over top of the collar if you'd like to do that. I usually just cut mine. Make sure they're all even. Go right back to where that hackle feather ends. And repeat the process on the other side. There we go. And it kindly the excess tried to wad up on my thread, but that's perfectly fine there. We'll get him straightened out. Now the next thing that we want to add, as I build this up here a little bit up the shank, the next thing that we want to add is some chenille. This is crystal color right here. I got that off eBay. Lady Fly Tire. Check her out. She's on eBay over there. She's got feathers, everything that you want to work with, whether you're a fly tire, jig tire, time both. She's got it. So we want to expose that thread. Give him a couple of wraps right here, locking that in. We'll crisscross him a couple of times. And then we're going to work our way right down toward where that thread and that hackle feather meets. And then right back up to right behind that jig head. There we go. And then at this point, I'm going to crisscross him again, locking that chenille in. Then we're going to go ahead and get this excess cut off here. And then we're just going to take our thread and we're going to do a couple real tight turns down toward the back end. And then right back up behind that jig head. And then we're going to lay our collar down here. Now at this point, we're going to go ahead and do our whip finish. See your thread down good, get that cut. As feather pieces are flying everywhere, that's all right. Well, fellas, there you go. This will be a killer little jig here for those rainbow trout, crappie as well, and a pretty simple little tie to tie. I love the blue and pink combination when it comes to trout. So give this one a try right here. If you liked the video, I hope you give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you've not subscribed. Also, check the playlist out down in the description. Until next time, guys, stay safe out there on the water. Happy tying. And we'll see you right back here at Hills and Gills.